Every food that was invented by accident. All right.
An 11-year-old boy left his drink outside overnight, and by morning, he'd invented a dessert that would sell over 2 billion units a year.
Nigga.
In 1905, in San Francisco, Frank
This nigga spilled his drink and then he invented popsicles?
Epperson mixed powdered soda and water on his front porch, then
What?
left the cup outside with a powdered soda. In 1905, in San Francisco, Frank Epperson mixed powdered soda and water on his front porch, then left the cup outside with a stirring stick still in it. Temperatures dropped low enough overnight to freeze it solid. The next morning, he found a fruity ice block frozen around the stick. He'd accidentally made a treat he could hold and lick. Epperson kept making
This nigga he did that shit with just water and sugar. He ain't even put no flavor on that, John.
them for friends and family for years, calling them Epsicles. It wasn't
Epsicles?
until 1923 that he decided to sell them commercially
Hey.
at an amusement park in California.
Okay,
His own kids kept calling them Popsicles
Come
after
on.
their dad, and the name Popsicle
Come
stuck.
on!
Epperson
What a beautiful origin, bruh. Change that name immediately, boy. Hell yeah. They said, nah, this a popsicle right here, boy. Yeah, the kid said, hey, nah, this is a popsicle, man. It's from Pop Pop. We need that.
Sickles after their dad.
Yeah.
And the name Popsicle stuck.
That's tough.
Epperson got a patent on the invention in 1924. Then the Great Depression hit,
Oh.
and Epperson found himself in hard times.
Wow. Ooh.
He sold the rights of the popsicle to the Joe Low Company.
Lowe's? Wait, Lowe's owns popsicles? Or is it a different Lowe? L. Lowe's. When the American dream was achievable, I'ma cry. They just went through the Great Depression.
Cover his debts. The Joe Low Company to the Joe Low Company to cover his debts.
He's out of
The
debt.
Joe Low Company then aggressively marketed popsicles across the United States.
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
introduced the famous two-stick popsicle.
Yeah.
So two children could share one for a nickel.
They cooked.
A
Oh,
frustrated
they cooked with that. I'm not gonna lie, they knew what they were doing. They said, let me buy this off you real quick, and I'm gonna show you what you're supposed to do with this hoe. Yeah. Come on now. They cooked.
chef was trying to punish a picky customer, but
What?
ended up creating perhaps the most craveable
Whoa.
snack in
Whoa, so you're telling me potato chips is some revenge action?
for a nickel.
Hold on, let me see.
A frustrated chef was trying to punish a picky customer, but ended up creating perhaps the most craveable snack in history.
What the fuck did he do?
According to famous legend, in 1853, at Moon's Lake House near Saratoga Springs, New York, Chef George Crumb, yes, a man named Crumb, invented potato chips. Supposedly,
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yo! It was meant to be. It was written. It was written. What the fuck? Nah, that's actually some... Yeah, that's some Destiny shit right there.
Crumb, yes,
George
a man
Crumb.
named Crumb invented potato chips. Supposedly kept getting his fried potatoes sent back. The customer said they were too thick and not crisp enough. Crumb, the story goes, got annoyed, sliced
Oh.
the potatoes paper thin, fried them until they cracked, and loaded them with salt. He expected complaints. Instead,
Wow.
the customer loved them. Word spread, and Crumb's Saratoga chips became a menu staple. Then
Wait. He was selling a version of potato chips, but they was trash. They said, hold on. These is not crisp enough, my boy. Oh my God. He did exactly what the customer wanted, thinking that he was finna get back at them. So he got them Lays? No, he got them hooked. He hooked them up.
not crisp enough. Crumb, the story goes, got annoyed, sliced the potatoes paper thin, fried them until they cracked, and loaded them with salt. He expected complaints. Instead, the customer loved them. Word spread, and Crumb's Saratoga chips became a menu staple, then a
Wow.
regional specialty sold in stores across upstate New York.
Okay.
Now, it is true that food historians have been able to identify cookbooks from years before 1853 featuring thin fried potato slices, but it's not clear that Crumb had access to these. And there is no doubt that he is owed the credit to popularizing the dish, if not strictly inventing it from scratch. Saratoga chips
Literally.
became a regional hit, sold in paper bags at Moon's Lake House for decades.
All right, bruh. Come on now, bruh. That's crazy. This motherfucker invents potato chips, and he gets none of the credit for it. GG's. Need some hot sauce and lime on them chips. They got enough salt on them. I promise you, boy. Ain't no telling how much salt he loaded up on there. He already loaded it up with salt the first time. Once he said, "Oh, this shit work," he probably loaded up a lot more to actually on the finished product. All types of salt in that bitch. What the cornflakes talking about?
Two brothers left a pot of boiled wheat sitting out too long, and instead of throwing it away, they accidentally invented breakfast cereal.
That's
In
crazy.
1894,
Oh, that's disgusting. What the fuck? Boiled wheat? Morg, what's up, Morg? Welcome to the stream. They boiled some wheat and made cereal. Left it out overnight. That's insane. It's a little bit disgusting if you ask me. Boiled wheat. Yeah, we are learning about some food on that. Yeah. Pre-Frosted Flakes. Facts. What did you think cornflakes was? Bro. The boiled wheat? Who thinks about boiled wheat left out overnight? Like, I don't think about that when I'm eating cornflakes.
accidentally invented breakfast cereal. In 1894, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg and his brother Will ran a health sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan. They were experimenting with bland, easy-to-digest food for patients.
Wow.
One batch of boiled wheat got left out and went stale. Rather than waste it, they ran it through rollers anyway, expecting long sheets of dough. Instead, each grain flattened into a separate flake. They toasted the flakes and served them to patients who liked them. So the brothers repeated the accident.
Oh my goodness, boy. Hey. So we got crumbs. Let's go ahead and fry that up real quick. Let's fry that up right there. Throw that on the stove. Fry that up. Toast it real good. Make it a little crunchy. We'll bottle that up and sell that to the customer.
Patients who liked them. So the brothers repeated the accident on purpose. This time using corn instead of wheat. And cornflakes were born.
Corn, not no wheat on that. You're not thinking wheat when you eating corn. You're not thinking about no wheat. Boiled wheat is basically the same thing as oatmeal. Sure, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Some oatmeal on that? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Throw some milk on that? Yeah, you throw some milk right on. Now, why does this piece right here look like a macaroni? Or am I tripping? Like, this piece right here looks like a macaroni. Not gonna lie. Don't it? Or am I tripping? I swear I learned that as a kid. It all comes from wheat. No, that's that corn. Look at that, got actual corn. Kinda. Okay. I like macaroni, bro.
Then came the conflict. The two brothers split bitterly over how to run the business.
What?
Will wanted to add sugar to boost sales. John refused. He wanted to keep it healthy and believed sweetening food wasn't just bad for people's bodies, but also their minds.
Right.
So Will broke off and founded the Kellogg Company in 1906.
Whoa, that's insane. Oh, boy, evil one. He said, add that sugar, make people fat. He said, "Nah, big dog. We started healthy. Let's stay on the healthy, John." The fuck? I guess somebody was gonna throw some sugar in that anyway. Hey, people at the crib probably throwing sugar on that. Y'all know y'all throwing sugar on the cornflakes when y'all get them at the crib. Why you get cornflakes at that point though? Maybe the Frosted Flakes is too much sugar on that. It's a little bit too much. So just give me the cornflakes and I put my own sugar on there.
Will broke off and found
Wait. Go all the way back.
The two brothers split bitterly over how to run the business.
Yeah.
Will wanted to add sugar to boost sales. John
Boost the
refused.
sales, okay.
He wanted to keep it healthy and believed sweetening food wasn't just bad for people's bodies, but also their minds. So
He cooked. He was on the right path.
Will broke off and founded the Kellogg Company in 1906 and turned the accidental flakes into a global cereal empire that still bears the family name today.
Wow.
Two chemists made a sauce so disgusting they buried it in a basement and forgot about it, only to discover years later that it had become one of the most iconic condiments in the world.
No, please. No, that's a crazy intro to a sauce, dude. Come on. Come on, bruh. They made a sauce just off the rip, you know, like they always do, but it was too terrible to bear. So they put it in the basement and just left it there. They buried it. Like, still in the bowl? Still in the bowl? That's a little weird. Why not just pour it out? Am I the only one that hates Worcestershire sauce? What's so great about it? Hey?
It had become one of the most iconic condiments in the world. In the 1830s, English chemists John Lee and William Perrins were asked by a nobleman, Lord Marcus Sandys, to recreate a spiced sauce he'd tasted in Bengal, India. So they got to work, mixing anchovies, vinegar, tamarind, and spices. Then they tasted it and hated it. The first batch tasted harsh and unpleasant. The smell was overpowering. Disappointed, instead of dumping the batch, they stored the barrel in their cellar in Worcestershire.
It was a whole barrel. That makes sense. Yeah, all right.
England, and forgot about it.
That's fair.
Months later, while clearing storage space, they rediscovered the barrel and decided to taste it before dumping it out. The extended fermentation had transformed the flavor completely.
Wow.
It mellowed the harshness into something rich and savory. So they bottled it and began selling it commercially in 1837 under the Lee and Perrins name.
Wow.
The exact recipe remains a closely guarded secret to this day, reportedly known by only a handful of people at any given time. Worcestershire sauce eventually became a...
Hold on, how do you say it?
Handful of people at any given time. Worcestershire sauce eventually...
Worcestershire sauce? This shit makes steak taste good? Really? Really? This makes steak taste good. I guess that's what people put on their steak. Wait, now they put that A1. Is A1 sauce Worcestershire sauce? It's the vinegar? Worcestershire sauce. It makes it pop. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Is that German? Is Worcester German? Don't get ass steak. They need all they need is salt and pepper. Maybe some garlic rosemary. That's it. No sauce on that steak. Okay.
Actually became a key ingredient in Worcestershire cocktails, Caesar dressing,
What?
and
Cocktail?
countless marinades across the globe.
People
All
drinking
because
that?
two chemists nearly threw away a mistake instead of letting it sit long enough to work. A circus performer's dirty bathwater may be the reason pink lemonade exists at all. The most repeated origin story dates back to the 1850s. tied to circuses traveling through the American Midwest.
Okay.
According to circus lore, a vendor named Pete Conklin was selling plain lemonade when he ran short of water. Nearby,
Plain lemonade. Is that lemonade with no sugar or what?
Was selling plain lemonade when he ran short of water.
Okay.
Nearby, a performer had just finished rinsing pink tights in a tub of water
What the-
backstage. Conklin, desperate to keep
What?
selling, used that tinted
Pink tights? What they getting the pink from now? Are you kidding me? Ringing some old sweaty old shorts. What was it?
backstage. Conklin, desperate to keep selling.
Wait, back that up.
Nearby, a performer had just finished rinsing pink tights in a
Some
tub of
pink tights. Lemonade is loaded with sugar, always has been. Right. So what does he mean by plain lemonade then? Eh?
water backstage. Conklin, desperate to keep selling, used that tinted water to stretch his batch of lemonade. Customers didn't complain about the color, and some accounts claim it even sold better than the clear version. Then there's a competing story that credits another circus vendor, Henry E. Allett, who accidentally dropped red cinnamon candies into a batch of lemonade, turning it
red cinnamon candies. Imagine they really did this just around the same time. They both had the same accidents at the same time to turn lemonade into some pink lemonade. That's crazy. Why not strawberries? I don't know.
Who accidentally dropped red cinnamon candies into a batch of lemonade, turning it pink and giving it a slightly spiced flavor. Because both stories come from unverified circus folklore, historians can't confirm exactly which happened, or if either did. What's certain is that pink lemonade caught on fast at fairs and circuses throughout the late 1800s, marketed as a novelty. Today, most pink lemonade gets its color from added fruit juices like cranberry or from food dye.
Still not strawberry. They said that cranberry action, or we just gonna put that red 40 in there.
Tights or candy. But the accidental, slightly questionable origin story has stuck around for over 150 years.
It caught on because it's pink.
Accidentally.
Yeah, like when you get pink lemonade, it tastes different than regular lemonade. But back then, it was just the color. All right. That's not, I can't be mad at that. The chimichanga? Chimichanga?
Let me dropped a burrito into a deep fryer, and instead of fishing it out and starting over, she let it cook and created a Tex-Mex staple.
That's such a very, oh my God, like yes, just let that cook. You know what I mean? It's on the skillet. Let it do what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? I know she heard that. Yeah, let it cook. Yeah, because look what you made. You made something fucking fabulous. Yep. It's all you needed. Yeah. Yeah, like back that all the way up.
For
Leave
over
the intro
150 years. A cook accidentally dropped a burrito into a deep fryer, and instead of fishing it out and starting over, she let it cook and created a Tex-Mex staple.
Yeah.
The most cited version of the story comes from Monica Flynn, who ran El Charro Cafe in Tucson, Arizona, starting in the 1920s. According to the story, sometime around the 1950s, she was making a burrito and accidentally knocked it into a vat of hot oil. Her instinct was to shout a curse word, but with children nearby, she caught herself and blurted out chimichanga instead.
No way.
A nonsense word, roughly translating to something like thingamajig in Mexican slang.
Okay.
Rather than tossing the ruined burrito, she pulled it out and tasted it. The tortilla had turned golden and crispy.
Oh my God, what What a beautiful accident right here, bro. Oh my goodness. What's what they mean when they talk about beautiful accidents. Come on. It's this right here. It is this right
Plates
here.
inside stayed hot and intact. She began serving the fried burritos at her restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And the name stuck. Other Arizona restaurants have made competing claims to inventing the dish around the same era.
Rarely,
Regardless of who fried the first one, the chimichanga spread across the American Southwest through the mid-1900s, eventually becoming a staple on Tex-Mex menus nationwide.
A fried burrito. Yeah, that's tough. Hell yeah. That is a layup of an invention. The fact that it was by an accident is a little crazy. Because I feel like at some point, somebody was going to put their burrito in that skillet. Hey? So is every fried burrito a chimichanga? Yeah, you just looked at the origin. It was a burrito. It all started with a good old burrito. The burrito was already finna do its thing. It was finna be tough. Okay, the best burrito you ever made. You do this for a living. And you just accidentally drop that hole in the skillet. Yeah, let it cook. That's a chimichanga.
Usually served with sour cream, guacamole, and melted cheese on top.
Yeah.
A broken soda fountain machine
now the Slurpee
accidentally created an entire category of frozen drinks now sold at nearly every convenience store in America. In 1958, Omar Nedlick owned a Dairy Queen in Coffeyville, Kansas.
Dairy
His soda
Queen
fountain broke, so he stuck bottles of soda in his freezer to keep them cold instead. Customers kept showing up, and by the time he pulled the bottles out, the soda had partially frozen into a slushy,
boy, you know he hit something right there, man. You let that thing frost over just a little bit, just so it could get a little slushy like. Oh, yeah, he cooked.
My solid mixture. Instead of tossing it, he served it anyway.
Serve that bad boy up.
The icy texture more than regular soda.
Yeah.
And Nedlick noticed people kept coming back specifically for the slush.
God.
Recognizing what he'd stumbled onto.
Imagine coming up with this. Being the first guy to just frost over a soda.
Spent the next few years developing a machine that could create that frozen texture on demand.
Oh, what a genius.
Patenting it in 1965 under the name Icy. He
Come
later
on.
licensed the technology to 7-Eleven, which rebranded its version as the Slurpee in 1967. Using an
I feel like the Slurpees from 7-Eleven they're not as good as they should be. That's what I'll say. Other places do Slurpees way better for sure, obviously.
Rebranded its version as the Slurpee in 1967.
I think
using a name meant to mimic the sound of drinking one. Both brands still exist today, running side by side in different stores.
I don't know if I don't know if Icy is any better though. Like literally just leaving a drink in the freezer for a little bit too long and then having it be a slushy consistency. Like, I think slushies is the better version of this. Like the Slurpee, the Icy. No, get you a slushie. The slushies is where it's at. It's basically the same shit, though.
Both tracing back to one broken freezer in Kansas that never got fixed in time. A jammed animal feed machine accidentally created one of the best-selling snacks in the world.
What? A jammed animal feeding machine, John? So this is animal food. Fire, he created it. Slurpee did his name wrong. Facts. They took his idea and made it something different with that machine, not gonna lie. Maybe it was the machine. He made the machine himself, so he did that to himself off the rip. They just bought the idea. Cornmeal? Man.
In the early 1930s, at the Flakes Corporation in Beloit, Wisconsin, employees were grinding moist corn to make flaked livestock feed. One day, an employee named Edward Wilson noticed that
just some corn, just some good old regular old everyday corn.
When the wet corn grits passed through a hot grinding machine, The moisture inside them turned to steam, puffing the corn up into light, crunchy shapes as it exited the machine.
That's cool.
It wasn't feed anymore. It was something closer to a snack. Wilson brought samples home to his wife, who fried them and seasoned them. And the family agreed they were worth selling.
Oh,
the
hell
company
yeah.
began producing them commercially in 1936 under the name Corn Curls, using cheese powder as the primary flavoring. The product became the direct blueprint for what snack companies would later scale up nationally, most notably Cheetos, launched by Elmer Doolin at Frito Company in 1948, using nearly identical extrusion technology. Today, cheese puffs are sold under dozens of brand names worldwide, all descending from a feed mill machine that puffed corn by accident.
This might be the biggest lick. Making cheese puffs? Oh, yeah. All started with a little accident in the farm? Yeah. Yeah, that probably hit the best lick, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all like crunchy or puffed? That's a good question. I think just off the rip, I tend to go for the crunchy John. But, you know, it's got to be like a special occasion where I get some puff. When I get some puff action, it's going to be a special occasion. I don't get the puff on the regular. I get more so get the crunchy on the regular. Yeah, but I do like both. I just tend to buy more crunchy. Like, go-to is crunchy for sure. Yeah. The puff, it'd be too airy. It'd be a little bit too much puff sometime. And I would rather have more chip in the bag than to have just big ass puffs, but just not a lot of them, you know? Like these, that's a big ass puff, boy. That Great Value, John. The Cheeto Puffs I guess these puffs aren't too big. Like Cheeto Puffs, they do it the best, I think, for sure. Yeah.
All descending from a feed mill machine that puffed corn by accident. A chemist ignored basic lab safety rules and accidentally discovered a sweetener 200 times stronger than sugar by literally licking his own finger. In 1965, chemist James Schlatter was working at G.D. Searle and Company, trying to develop a drug to treat stomach ulcers, while combining 2 amino acids, aspartic acid and phenylalanine, in his lab. A small amount of the compound got on his finger. Later, while reaching for a piece of paper, he licked his finger without thinking and noticed an intensely sweet taste. Now, when working with acids and chemicals in a lab, it is generally considered an unsafe practice to lick your finger.
Yeah, that's insane.
That didn't stop Schlatter. And after his lick, he became even more curious, and he went back and deliberately tasted the compound directly, discovering it was far sweeter than sugar, despite having no chemical.
It couldn't have been that damn sweet, though, for him to go back. Like, you know when something's too sweet, it's like, oh, no, I can't even bear this. Yo, what's good, Big Bash? Welcome to the stream, Brody. Welcome on in. Welcome on in, Brody. Immediate addiction found? Yeah, it's probably just sweet enough, eh? For him to get addicted, and it tastes good, too. Tuh. That's that cocaine in the cube form, sugar cube form.
Resemblance to it. Schlatter's ulcer drug research led nowhere, but the accidental discovery became something else entirely. Searle spent over a decade testing and seeking FDA approval for the compound as a sweetener, finally getting it approved for dry foods in 1981 and carbonated drinks in 1983. It was marketed under the brand name NutraSweet and later Equal. Today, aspartame is used in thousands of diet sodas, gums, and low-calorie foods worldwide.
All right. This shit's sweeter than sugar. It's in everything. Jeez Louise. Wow. So wait. Okay. So do drinks that we drink, you know, sodas, juices, shit like that, Gatorades, all that, do they have like sugar, natural sugar, and also NutraSweet? It ain't the same. What you mean? Like, or is it all just NutraSweet? Corn syrup. That's where corn syrup is, huh? Nope. High fructose corn syrup. High corn fructose syrup, nigga. That's crazy. NutraSweet is high corn fructose syrup. I should have known that.
All originating from a lab mistake that violated basic chemical safety protocol.
That's crazy.
A Chinese cook may have accidentally created one of the world's oldest meat substitutes over 2,000 years ago, simply by mixing the wrong two ingredients together.
Wait.
Accidentally, chemical safety protocol. A Chinese cook may have accidentally created one of the world's oldest meat substitutes over 2,000 years ago, simply by mixing the wrong two ingredients together. The most widely cited origin traces back to China during the Han Dynasty, around 146 BC, tied to a nobleman named Liu An.
Okay.
According to the legend, a cook in Liu An's household was preparing a mixture of ground soybeans and water when it accidentally came into contact with nagari, a compound found in seawater, or possibly a mineral salt used nearby.
Salt.
That mineral caused the soy milk to curdle and separate, coagulating the proteins into a soft, solid mass. Rather than seeing failed soy milk, the cook found something with a firm, custard-like texture that could be cut and cooked differently. Tofu spread throughout Asia over the following centuries, becoming a dietary staple across China, Japan.
Where'd the meat come from? Like, he said there was some 2,000-year-old meat. Did he not say that? Or the substitute for it, I guess. Yeah, he said the substitute for it. There wasn't no meat in that shit.
And Korea.
You love tofu? Hey, that's how it was originated. Shit.
Yeah, long before it reached Western countries in the 20th century as a protein source and meat alternative.
Meat alternative. Yeah, there you go.
Nomadic herders storing milk in animal stomachs may have created one of the world's oldest fermented foods entirely by accident.
Bro, what? Bruh, I eat yogurt damn near every fucking day. Hey, boy, what the fuck? They just storing it in the stomach? Or what? Where they storing it at? Letting it rot in the stomach of a what? I like me some yogurt. Yeah, some yogurt good.
May have created one of the world's oldest fermented foods entirely by accident, thousands of years before anyone understood bacteria even existed.
Wow.
The story traces back to Central Asia and the Middle East, sometime before 5000 BC, tied to nomadic tribes who transported milk in pouches made from the stomachs of sheep or goats.
Oh my goodness, it's that old. 5000 BC. What the heck? Gotta look up a vid on how yogurt is made for real. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, dude.
Naturally contained bacteria and goats. Those stomach linings naturally contained bacteria and enzymes left over from digestion. As herders traveled, body heat and ambient temperature caused the milk inside those pouches to ferment on its own, thickening it and giving it a tangy, sour taste, completely different from fresh milk.
But
rather than spoiling, the milk had transformed into something that lasted longer without refrigeration. This is because fermentation lowers pH enough to slow bacterial spoilage. Herders didn't understand this,
Okay.
but they did notice the pattern and began deliberately storing milk this way, repeating an accident they fully didn't understand for generations. The food spread through the Ottoman Empire.
Hey, they said if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep on doing what we did the first time. Imagine remembering everything you did, but it was an accident. You never remember your accidents. You don't know how you did it. Man, you always go back and like, how did we do it the first time? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. You can never remember. You feel like you can never repeat the greatest thing you've ever done. It's like lightning in a bottle. You can't repeat that. Learning how to repeat some shit like that is crazy.
And the word yogurt itself comes from Turkish origins. Then it reached Europe. It wasn't industrialized until the early 1900s, when scientists identified the specific bacterial
Empirical
strains
knowledge.
responsible for fermentation.
Yeah.
And finally,
'Cause they doing this shit every day. They walking with these goats and johns every day. You know what I mean? So it felt like we'll just do what we did last time. Yeah, do it the same way. Fuck it.
bacterial strains responsible for fermentation, and finally explained a process nomadic herders had been relying on for thousands of years without any idea why it worked.
Yep.
Again, we have a shepherd carrying milk in a bag from an animal's stomach that may have created one of the world's oldest foods. And again, discovered by accident thousands of years before anyone understood what caused it. The most widely cited theory traces back to the Middle East, sometime around 8000 BC, tied to nomadic herders who transported milk in pouches made from stomach linings of sheep, goat, or cattle. Those stomach linings naturally contained an enzyme called rennet, left over from the animal's digestive system.
That's
As a herder traveled, often on horseback under hot sun, the combination of body heat, movement, and rennet
Same way like the yogurt.
milk inside the pouch to separate into solid curds and liquid whey. And so, instead of spoiled milk, the herder found something new entirely. A solid, edible substance that lasted far longer than fresh milk. Ancient people apparently tasted the curds anyway, discovering they were not only safe to eat, but had a distinct flavor and texture worth repeating deliberately. Archaeological evidence supports this timeline, with cheese-making equipment and residue found on pottery in Poland, dating back roughly 7,500 years. Because rennet-based curdling can happen anywhere milk and stomach-lining meet, historians believe cheese may have been discovered independently in multiple regions, rather than spreading from one single source. Today, over 1,800 distinct varieties of cheese exist worldwide, all tracing back to the same accidental chemical reaction inside an animal's stomach.
We were gonna have cheese regardless. As long as we had animals with that stomach lining on that, producing milk and johns like that, you finna have cheese, milk, yogurt, all that shit. Anyway, beer. Yeah, let's see how beer was accidentally created. All of these have been accidental, by the way. All right. These are some damn good inventions that were just accidental. Like beer. Come on now, we all know how popular beer is.
Grain left out in the rain may have led to one of the oldest alcoholic beverages in human history.
Grain left out in the rain. Why does that rhyme?
Discovered thousands of years before anyone intentionally tried to brew anything. The leading theory points to Mesopotamia, in the region of modern-day Iraq, sometime around 7,000 to 6,000 BC. Early humans stored harvested grain in clay containers. And when that grain got wet, either from rain or accidental water exposure, wild yeast, naturally present in the air, settled onto it. That yeast began fermenting the sugars in the soaked grain, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide as a byproduct. The result was a bubbling, slightly alcoholic liquid that had never existed before.
That's crazy.
Nothing better to do, they tasted it. And evidence suggests that they liked the mild intoxicating effect enough to repeat the process on purpose.
That just naturally happened. Like, it rained. They said, hold on, what it tastes like? Yeah, what it tastes like. Let me see. It got some yeast off in there? Yeah, let me scoop this out real quick and drink that.
Mild intoxicating effect enough to
Healthier than random water. Let's realize what has to happen, right? We need a sack of, what, corn was it? What is that?
to 6000 BC. Early humans stored harvested grain in clay
Grain.
containers. And when that grain got wet, either from rain or accidental water exposure, wild yeast, naturally present in the air, settled onto it.
Grain in
That-
the water. Yeah. Grain in water, but it's got to be, you know, it's got to be good water. But that rainwater, that rainwater is whatever the fuck it is. GG's.
Yeast began fermenting the sugars in the soaked grain, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide as a byproduct enough
Yeah.
to repeat the process
Yeah.
on purpose. Archaeologists have found residue on pottery shards at sites like Göbekli Tepe in
Really?
Iran, dating back roughly 5,000 years, which confirms beer production was already established and organized by that point.
5,000 years is an insane amount of time ago, bro.
So beer predates written language itself, making
Oh.
it one of the oldest processed foods still consumed today.
Wow.
Born entirely from grain. Nobody meant to get wet.
At all.
So what's your
That's
favorite food on
crazy.
the list? And have
Hey.
you ever been in the kitchen and accidentally created something delicious?
great
Let us know
video.
in the comments. And since you're
Great video, my boy. Crunchy history. What a damn good video.